Listen to the Vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Listen to the Vibes. I'm very happy and very privileged to have the legendary Derek Mo Moore here with me, who is the bass player and one of the founding members of one of the greatest prog bands ever, Nektar. So, Derek, what's going on, my friend?
Oh, we're getting ready on Friday. I go up to New Jersey. I live in North Carolina now. And on Friday, I go up to New Jersey, and we're going to do some practice work on the new album. And then on next week, we're gonna finalize the mix. So the new album, not the one we're talking about now, Journey to the Other Side, but the new album will be out in June, and that's called Mission to Mars. So that's what's exciting in my life right now, is getting that done, you know?
Well, you have this live album out called Journey to the Other Side,
Yep,
live at the Dunellen Theatre.
right. The Dunellen Theatre is in Dunellen, New Jersey. And we played there on I believe it was the 10th or 12th of June last year. And we decided we would record it, do a 5 camera shoot and record it on 32 tracks so that we could mix it properly and put it out as a DVD. Unfortunately, it was 2.5 hours long, and that's too long for a DVD. So we had to switch it, and it's coming out on Blu-ray. It's coming out as a 2 disc if you want to play it in your just the music, and it's coming out digitally, where you can download. We have like a scan card, and you can scan it and go to a special site on YouTube and watch it in high def. You have to sign in to do that, but that's one of the things we've been playing with Deco, the music company that we're working with, the record company. They're very good. They have a lot of great ideas. So we're hoping it's going to come out good. It's been produced right now, so it should be out in probably April or May, and it's going to be really nice. I'm thrilled with it. We spent about 6 months putting it together. Some of the recording, mixing, I did with Rich, but the majority of it, once we got that bass settings, which was a Tab in the Ocean, Rich just ran with it and did the whole thing. He's very good with stuff like that. You know, he's very good at engineering and whatnot.
And if you buy the hard copy, you get like a t-shirt and some other things with
Yeah,
it.
you can get a T-shirt. You can get a signed flat, a signed photograph. Um, I don't know what else there is. I think it's a T-shirt, a signed flat, and the album. You can buy as a complete unit. We had some special T-shirts made just for that buyout. Well, I don't know what you would call it, but it's something the record company put together, and we thought it was a good idea. So we give them a thing for a T-shirt, for a new T-shirt. One of our guys, Jay Petsko, he does all our digital work with the light show,
Mm-hmm.
and he does all our stuff with the video. And if we need advertisements and whatnot, he does all that.
Was this the last performance that your original drummer got to
Yep,
do?
yep. Ron and I played together for 60 years. Most of our adult life, all of our adult lives. I think I was 18 when we met. And I have to say that I didn't think that this was going to happen, but we decided because the band had just finished touring and it was a good vibe, everything was going well. So we decided we would go and play everything we had and record it, and then we had a visual sighting of what the band was at that time, and we had no idea that Ron was going to pass. He actually a few days before he got the all clear because he had cancer, and
Oh, wow.
and 2016, I think it was. He fought it and won. Was totally in remission, and then he had to go back and start doing different chemo things. And just a few days before, he told me, I've been to the hospital, they checked me out, I'm cancer free. And then on that Sunday, he came up to Rich's house where we rehearse. We rehearse in his basement, and we do some recording there. And we were downstairs, and he said, "I'm not feeling that well." And I said, "Well, come and sit in my chair. I have a chair down by where we rehearse." And he sat on there for a while, and we were playing the new music, and he was getting into it. And then he slid off onto his drums, but there was no cymbals there. He'd taken the cymbals away, but he had a kit of drums he left there all the time. And he's playing along with us and having fun. And he said, "Oh, send me all the new songs that you've got on a thumb drive." So I said, "Okay, we'll get one together for you." I think actually we might have done it there and then. I think we did it there and then and give him a thumb drive because we have the capability upstairs. Rich has all his Pro Tools stuff.
Right.
I think he gave it him there and then, and that was Sunday, and then Monday night he was taken into the hospital. I didn't find out about it until Tuesday. I was on my way back to North Carolina when I found out. And after the fact, because on Friday that week they decided nothing was gonna happen. And after the fact, I found out that he'd been basically brain dead from Monday night. He had a aneurysm, what they call a brain bleed.
Oh no.
And he didn't make it. He just didn't make it. So the last music he played was with us, and the last music that was a stunner. I've got to tell you, that was a stunner because we were planning on doing Mission to Mars for the last 3 years. We've been writing music. Me and Rich have been writing a lot, and just didn't happen, man. Didn't happen. So we decided we would dedicate the new album, Journey to the Other Side, to Ron. So there's a lot of pictures of him. There's a lot of in the video. There's a lot of sections where you see him playing, and it's really good. It's really if you are into the band and you know Ron, you're gonna like it. It's really good.
Everything I've seen him play the last few years, he still plays like he's 20 years old.
Absolutely. No, don't slow down.
Right.
Now, what we did for him, because we were playing Recycled and Tab in the Ocean in the same set, and he said it started to get a bit of a struggle for him to play because it's all balls to the wall.
Right.
And he said, "I would prefer not to do them both in the same set." So we started alternating them. But I have to say, well, you watch the video. He's at it all the time.
Yeah.
He's just a very, very powerful drummer, and thinks through what he's doing. But he's always been that way. I mean, I've known him, as I said, 60 years.
I've seen bands with drummers that not even as old as him, and they'd have other drummers come in to kind of fill in some of the spots because they couldn't keep up. And
Right.
you watch Ron play, oh my God, that guy was just at it.
He just had it all the time, yeah. Oh, he didn't slow down. He liked to drive the band. He was good. Very, very good. When we met, well, actually, I knew him from Sheffield. I used to live in Sheffield, and he was in Sheffield. And we used to meet often in the cafes or at a club or whatever. And we got to be friends. And we went to France. We were playing for the GIs, the EM clubs, and we were playing in Nancy in France. And who walks through the door but Ron? And Ron walked straight up to the front of the stage and he said, "I want to play with you." I said, "Okay, I'm good for." I knew how good he was, and I said, and we made arrangements that night for our drummer to go with his band, and he came to us,
Hmm.
and we've played together pretty much ever since.
So whose idea was it for the extraterrestrial type theme when in the beginning? Because I know a lot of your music was kind of centered around getting enlightenment from extraterrestrials and
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
sort.
Well, it's how we think. A lot of our music, the music from the other side, is all talking about the other side. Where you go, that's where most of the bands live in now. And we had a journey to the other side, and we had um, a guy whose girlfriend, wife dies, and he's up in the sky writing letters in the sky, hoping that she can see it. That's Skywriter. And
Skyrider.
every song talks about some part of the other side. Drifting is just floating in space,
Right.
and it's good. And then when we came to do the new album, we decided to call it Mission to Mars, and we wrote the songs around that. There's actually only 4 songs, but some of the songs are pieces of the song. They're pieced together and they're going to something else. The songs are, he said, Mission to Mars, Long Lost Sunday, um, Sometime, Someday High, Someday Low, and the last one, I'll Let You In. And it covers about 32 minutes altogether.
Wow.
But we really like the new album. That should be out, as I said. By the time we're touring in June, we should have the albums.
Your
Um,
your top charting song was Astral Man?
no, the song that charted was "Remember the Future."
Okay.
Now, Astro Man might have charted. I don't know.
I want to say it hit number 19.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. "Remember the Future" hit number 18 or 19. Um, and that's really what brought us over here,
Right.
doing that album. It went down really well. We played in St. Louis. The first time we played in St. Louis, we played 4 shows at the Ambassador at 3,000 a pop. That's 12,000 people. And then the next time we came, we played 2 shows at Kiel Auditorium, which I think holds 10 or 15,000 people. And St. Louis became the epicenter of Nektar. And then when we went to New York, Alison Steele took a liking to us, and she would play our music all the time. And when we came to New York on that first tour, all the DJs from WNEW came to the concert at the Academy of Music, and we did that live on the radio. It was special. The whole tour was special. People were loving what we were doing, and we were loving playing for them. So you can't beat that feeling.
Right. You had quite the following, and I wondered why didn't y'all chart higher? But then I look at bands like Frank Zappa, who's one of my
Yeah,
all-time favorites. He didn't chart until the 80s, and that was kind of a novelty song with his daughter Moon Unit.
yeah, yeah.
And you had so many other bands, let's say well, I don't remember Gentle Giant really being big on the charts, but those guys were
None of them were, no. Now
right.
we toured Europe with Zappa.
Oh
Zappa
wow.
wanted to have us on his label, but we were already signed, and he asked us if we wanted to play with him on tour, and we toured Europe with him, and he was phenomenal, absolute. It was the overnight sensation band: George Duke, John Luke Ponty, you know. Of course, the names aren't coming to Bruce Fowler. Tom Fowler, Ruth Underwood on Vibes. She'd only been playing Vibes 6 months when they did Overnight Sensation.
No.
Yeah, she was incredible. And then what was her? What's his name? Underwood, the other Underwood. Anyway, what a band! What a band! And we played every night with them, and it was great, absolutely great. All his band were really into it. Frank was a strange bird, but it was genuine. It was
Yeah.
genuine, you know. He didn't. He wasn't thrilled that all their band was in our dressing room, uh, partaking of whatever we had. Of course, he he didn't partake at all.
Right. That's what
He
I
was
heard.
straight as a die. But what a great guy! What a great guy! Strange, but great.
That's what makes him great.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I've interviewed a lot of legends in the prog world, and nearly every one of them, when you ask them who was their influence, they always said Nektar. The name always came up.
That's nice. That's nice. We uh, we were influenced a lot by the Beatles, and Vanilla Fudge was an influence, and Moody Blues was an influence. But we tried not to listen to too much music because we didn't want to be influenced. We wanted to write our own music, you know.
Right.
And I think that's why all the albums are different. Every album's a little bit different. And that's because we would go off on a tangent. We'd like this, and then we'd like that, and then we'd like this. I mean, when we did Remember the Future, we wrote it in Germany in like a little guest house. And we went to record it, and they gave us 5 days to record it. And so we said, okay, do we have any restrictions in them 5 days? And the guy said, no. He said, you got your bedrooms upstairs, and you can do what you want, you know. So we recorded pretty much round the clock. We had the longest session was a 72-hour session.
Good night.
And in the 5 days, we recorded and mixed Remember the Future. Now, the mixing got tied up because we took it to a studio in London, and we were recording in quad. Nobody had really done anything in quad. And the speakers were out of phase, and it blew the guitar out. So we flew from there to Copenhagen to play with Zappa. And when he started moving down to Germany, Roy and I flew to Cologne in Dieter Dirk's studio, and we got Barry Hammond, our engineer from the other Remember the Future. He met us there, and we mixed the whole thing in a day.
Wow.
And it was just great. I mean, the guy was really good. The engineer was really good. I enjoyed working with him very much. And that was the story of it. I mean, we got all the sounds in the first day, and then we just played. One thing that you might not know, since the first album, since Journey to the Center of the Eye, all our music was recorded live in the studio.
Wow.
And then we did overdubs after that. So all the actual music is live, and that's what gives it that feel, you know?
I was going to say that does feel that way.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and for you to play as long as some of those songs were, and for it to be live the whole time, that's incredible.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the other side was done live. I don't know if you know the other side well, but Drifting was done the first take. We did one take. That was it.
Wow.
And Rich just recorded his vocal and the piano note under the vocal. That's all we added to it. It was live.
Wow.
And the new one, Mission to Mars, that's all live as well. I don't think there's anything that can beat live. There's an energy that you get with live that you don't get
Mhm.
in a studio unless you're going for that sound,
Right.
I mean, when we did sounds like this, we brought everything in, all the PA equipment. We had 40 people that we'd done it. We did what the hell? We had a way of getting people in there. It was like a contest,
Hmm.
and we picked 40 people, and they came to the studio. They sat on the floor, and we played. Remember, we played the whole sounds like this, and sounds like this uh, was really all the songs that we'd written that we'd not recorded, but we wanted to record them because we wanted to get it all out of our system so we could remember the future. That's basically why we did that. And I'll tell you another thing. I don't know if you know the cover of Sounds Like This, but it was meant to be the cover that came out with the anthology. That was supposed to be the cover from Sounds Like This. And the record company said, no, we really want to use Helmut Venske. And we did too, because he was our guy.
Right.
And so they called Helmut up and they said, Helmut, we want you to do the new Nektar cover for Sounds Like This. And he said, yeah, no problem. And he said, well, there's just one problem. We need it tomorrow. So he painted that entire cover overnight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I talked to him quite a lot. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. He's doing the cover for the new album.
Wow.
And he's an awesome guy. His birthday is the same day as mine. He's a little bit older than me, but we have the same birthday. And we get on really well.
And how many guys that were in there originally are still playing with the band?
Just me.
Just you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Taft died. Roy died. Ron just died.
Yeah.
Only four of us. That was it. So it leaves me. Now, Richie Shalander, who plays guitar now,
Hmm.
we played together with him when Roy left. Dave Nelson came in, and when Dave left, Richie came in, and we played a few concerts. Actually, we played a concert with Richie and Roy. Roy came to the gig and got up and jammed with us all night.
Hmm.
And Richie is the one that I wrote the music with for the other side, and also for Mission to Mars. We're like two peas in the pod. We think the same way, it's good. And he brought in Kendall Scott, who used to play with him in Rich Shalander's Flying Dreams. And then I brought in Randy Dembo, who followed when I left in '78. Randy Dembo played bass.
Hmm.
And I thought, we're going to do the other side, but I really am not into touring. So I got Randy so Randy could do the touring part and I would just do the studio part. But I liked the music so much that it got me back out on the road.
Wow.
On the road, it'll really tire you out,
Yeah.
But we're going to go out again. We're going to go out with Mission to Mars and Journey to the other side. We're gonna do both, promote both on the June tour, and then at the end of the year we go to England to play a festival, the Neen Festival in Grimsthorpe in Lincolnshire, actually, England. So that's going to be fun. We're going to do a few gigs around that as well. But that's going to be a fun year, We don't want to play. I mean, I look at some of these bands that are on tour and they're out for months, doing 30, 40, 50 days. Man, I would be wiped out at that. It usually takes us about 3 weeks to recover when we come back,
I can understand, man. Well, let's talk a little bit more about you. Now you play strictly Rickenbacker, or what else do you play?
Uh, I started playing. My first bass was, or the first good bass was an EB2 Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
The EB2 is a hollow body. So it looks like the 335. And I played that for the first two albums for Journey and for Tab.
Mm-hmm.
By the time we came to do Sounds Like This, I was playing a Gibson Les Paul, which was a nice bass.
Yeah.
And then by the time we did Remember the Future, I got my Rick. And I've played the Rick now since 71, 72, maybe. I modified it somewhat. I have two Fender pickups in the middle of their pickups, and I have a mixer on the guitar that mixes the different sound from the different pickups. I like it because it gives it a lot of warmth. When we did Down to Earth, that was the Rick, and when we did Recycled, I played my double neck. And the main guitar for Recycled, I used my Fender. I have a very old Fender Jazz, which is a great sound.
Yeah.
And then I did Marvelous Moses, I did with the Rick. The Rick has a special sound, no doubt about it. And I have some strings, piano-based strings from Rotor Sound, and they sound awesome. Unfortunately, they've just stopped making them. I'm trying to get them to make me a few sets. I bought strings from all over the country. I bought 10 sets that were just laying about. Because the sound on them strings are very special, I think. I think they really give it a ballsy bottom, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Whatever made you decide to pick up bass in the first place?
Well, I was playing with a band in England, and the bass player left. I was playing piano.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the bass player left, so I had to pick up bass, but otherwise we had no band, you know. And I found it very easy because when you know what chords you're playing with a piano, you know what notes you can play with a bass. It doesn't always have to be the root note; it can be a fifth or a third or whatever combination makes it sound good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually come from classical music. I played classical music from about being 7 years old, and I like classical music, and I particularly like the cello parts. So you'll hear a lot of cello in what I play. The music I play music very melodic because I like melodic sounds. I don't like the boom, 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 boom out of normal basses. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
like I like the melodic parts. I'll tell you who I found after a lot of years. I didn't realize it, but Paul McCartney uh, plays a lot like me. He plays a lot of melodic parts.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't realize it until I don't know a few years anyway into the Beatles. Um, and they, in my mind, the Beatles were the first prog band. I know some of the stuff they played was just off the charts,
Yeah.
you know, um, just beautiful stuff. And I still listen to what they're doing now, you know. So sometimes you'll hear in our music often Beatles harmonies or uh, guitar, Harrison type guitar, because Rich studies all that stuff. He's a real student of music. He brilliant guitarist.
You know, one thing about the Beatles, I know in the beginning, especially when they were doing a lot of covers, I can understand them getting that label of a pop band, but they didn't stay a pop band
Oh,
to
no,
me,
no, no, no. The White Album or Abbey Road was a fantastic album.
right? So,
And Abbey Road gave us the idea of tying songs together to make a like a medley or a
right.
story. That came from Abbey Road, and we still do that. I think the Beatles taught us that you can write your own music,
Mm-hmm.
that you don't have to write play somebody else's music. And I think that uh, that didn't only happen with us, it happened with a lot of bands. A lot of bands suddenly realized that they could play their own music. I mean, look at the Rolling Stones. The
Mm-hmm.
Rolling Stones, the Beatles give them I Want to Be Your Man, and they said, oh, that's how it's done. Yeah, oh, yeah. And they started writing their own music, you know. I mean, Keith and Mick are a great songwriting team. Um, I'm always interested in what comes out from them, you know, because it's always rock.
Yeah. Well, and you can tell me this either out of your professional or your personal life, but what has been the biggest hurdle that you've ever had to overcome?
Biggest hurdle. Ooh, that's I guess getting out of music and getting into business. I ran three corporations from 78 through 2019, I think, is when I retired.
Wow.
And getting out of music into that and getting out of that into music, I would say was pretty heavy. I liked playing, but it was
Mm-hmm.
getting so that we weren't going anywhere. And so we disbanded. I left and Ron left, and we disbanded until Nearfest 2001, I think that was, or 2002, 2001 or 2002. We played Nearfest. And when they announced that we were playing, it sold out in 45 minutes. There was over 3,000 people. People came from Japan, they came from England, they came from all over the world. And that was one of the gigs that really sticks with me, that I felt, wow, this is what it was like, you know. And I did a short tour with them, and then I got a step back out again into my businesses, you know. And then I guess 2019, I'd just retired, and Ron called me up and he said, um, "I want to put a band together. Will you help me?" And I said, "Sure." And that's when I put the Nectar together. That's on Journey to the Other Side. I put that band together. The three of us at first session was me, Ron, and Richie, and we just played together, and it clicked right away. And then we added Kendall, and we added Randy, and Mick came back, the light show guy,
Yeah.
Mick. He came back as well, and we put it together. Mick teamed up with Jay Petsko. Jay had more advanced ideas with digital.
Mm-hmm.
Mick was still doing liquids, and I think that it was good. It gave the audience something else to do. You know, you basically it's a music and light theater is what it is. And we're planning on with the new tour. We're planning on doing a lot of digital stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're planning on doing um, some things that I don't think have been done before. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works. We're trying to come up with something that's totally off the wall. You know, you got to do something new.
Yeah. Got to keep up with times, huh?
Yeah, or be ahead of the time if you can.
Well, I think you guys were ahead of your time when you first started out, and it might sound ridiculous, but I think you were too big for radio.
I don't know. I don't know what it was because we did find that if a radio station played it enough, that we became huge. So there
Mm-hmm.
must have been something about that. I mean, WNEW drove us in New York, and Keishi in St. Louis drove us in St. Louis. I mean, we were huge in St. Louis. I can't I can't help thinking that if the band had been played more on radio, that that it would have made the band a lot bigger. I mean, we have fans going back 50 years. You know, they write us all the time. I get emails on Facebook. We have Nektar, the legendary rock band. We have Nektar Appreciation Society. We have two other versions of Nektar that were started by fans. And I try to talk to the nectarines, as we call them, as much as possible. They're great people, you know. Um, I look forward to playing. I look forward to meeting uh, the people who become our friends. You know, 'cause we always have a big meet and greet at the end, so we can sign whatever they've got. You know, but I'm looking forward to the June tour. It's going to be good.
Well, I wish you were coming to Texas.
I wish we were coming to Texas too. Unfortunately, it costs so much money to come across country.
Yeah.
And because we've been out of sight, out of mind, we're not going to draw enough people to make it worthwhile getting paid enough to come on out there. You know,
Yeah.
the best thing you can do, or your listeners can do, is to buy the Journey to the Other Side album, and that is live. That's live Nektar. That's something that if you're a Nektar fan, that should be in your collection.
Well, you may have been out of sight, but you were never out of mind.
Well, that's nice. That's nice to know.
Man, Derek, I don't know how to thank you for coming on my show. This has really been an honor.
Well, it's an honor for me. You have to understand that without people like you and like the fans that listen to you, we're nowhere. It's got to be a mutual thing. You know, we try very hard to um, listen to what people are talking about, so we know which songs people are looking for. You know, like "Show Me the Way" because of the George Jefferson, Sherman Hemsley. He put that on the Jeffersons, and that's a song everybody wants to hear. You know, so it shows you that if the music is played, that people will come. You know. So that's what we're pushing right now. We're pushing getting radio play, although it's not as big as it was back in the 70s. I mean, there's so many radio stations, unbelievable. Um, you know, well, you're in radio.
What they need to do is make another heavy metal movie like the original one
Yeah,
and put some Nectar music on there. I guarantee it'd be a hit.
yeah, I think you're right. I seem to think that the music is different, and it's different enough. We have influenced a lot of bands.
Yeah, yeah.
Pink Floyd play a portion of one of our songs that we recorded 2 years before they recorded it. And Iron Maiden did King of Twilight from Tab in the Ocean. And they did a good version of it. And they came to a couple of shows. And Nick Taylor, I think his name, yeah, came to the show we did in New York City in 2001 or two. Yeah, 2001 or two. He came to the show. So I know that people are listening to us, and I know that we've been an influence just by being different. You know, that's my feeling is we play what we feel, whether it's rock and roll or it's whatever it is. That's what we play.
Now, what is your website?
The website is Nektars, Nektars, Nektars Music, music.com.
And you currently have a video up on YouTube off of the new album, correct?
Yeah, Drifting, I think, is off
Yeah,
that.
Drifting. I'm
Yeah.
going to put those links in the description. Oh, and what is all your social media?
Social media is Nektar, the legendary rock band.
Mm-hmm.
there's two versions of just Nektar and one Nektar Appreciation Society, which is a private group, small group. The biggest one has about 7,500, I think.
Wow. That's just on Facebook.
That's on Facebook, yeah.
Okay.
We also have bands in town. We have we do something with TikTok, but not much. And
Yeah.
we do I can't remember all the social media stuff.
Is there any Instagram or Twitter or anything like
We
that?
do Instagram, yes. We do Instagram.
Instagram.
I I think if you Google Nektar, we're everywhere. You know, I'm proud that this has all been built up really by fans. You know, a lot of the sites were started by fans. Nektar, the legendary rock band, was started by the guy who did the website, Andy Lucas. He's out of England, real nice guy, and he does that. And we built as a store within the website. So if you want to buy something, you can go on the store and buy it. If you want to know where we're playing or you want to know where you can get tickets, you go to the website. It'll link you with the tickets and the VIPs and what shows we're playing.
Derek, once again, thank you for coming on the show. It means the world to me. Really does. And I also want to thank all you folks out there. If you are new to the channel, I hope you'll come back. Please hit that subscribe button. For my regulars, you guys are awesome because you make it possible for me to do this. Until the next one, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace.